In this video, I will be showing you how to make an 8-piece dress without joining on the waistline with that manipulation, using this image as a reference picture. My name is Bolaji and this is Regi School of Fashion. In making an 8-piece dress, this comprises of the upper part and the lower part. And the upper part starts from the shoulder point to the natural waistline, while the lower part starts from the natural waistline and ends at the desired dress length. Based on the reference image you are working with, we are going to be drafting pattern for an 8-piece dress without joining on the waistline, number 1. And number 2 is going to be with that manipulation. And the measurements required in making this are the back measurements, the neck circumference measurements, the neck width, the neck depth, the bust level, empire level, waist level, bust circumference, empire circumference, waist circumference, bust span measurements, the dress length. The dress length measurement is taken from the natural waist point to the desired dress length. And last but not the least is the armhole circumference measurement. In drafting pattern for an 8-piece dress without joining on the waistline, I will be starting with the back panel. I have my pattern paper laid already, as you can see, and I have my vertical lines inserted. The line I have at the upper part of my pattern paper is the starting point line, so which means all my vertical measurements started on the starting point line, which is here downward. Then I inserted my chest level. The chest level is achieved by dividing the armhole circumference measurement by 2. The armhole circumference measurement I'm working with is 17.5 inches. Divided by 2 gives me 8.75. Then I have this as the chest level. And on the bust level, 10.5 inches. Empire level, 14 inches. And the waist level is 17 inches. Then I extended my lines outward and labeled them appropriately. Then at the edges of my pattern paper here, I left 1 inch, as you can see, which I labeled as the zipper allowance, because this is the back panel is going to be with zipper. So my center back is starting on this straight line, not from the edges of my pattern paper. Okay, then I drew out my armhole line as well. In getting the armhole line, I inserted half of the back measurement. The back measurement is the measurement taken from one shoulder point to another, and for me, I'm working with 17 inches. This measurement has to be divided by 2. 17 divided by 2 gives me 8.5 inches. Then from the center back point, which is the center back line I drew out, to this point I have 8.5 inches. Then I inserted the same measurement on the chest level. From this point to this point, 8.5. Then I connected the 2 points together, which gives me the straight line, and I labeled this as my armhole line. Now that I have my lines drawn out, the next step is to construct the neckline. Based on our reference image, as you can see, the neckline is very close to the base of the neck and is together with a neck band. For this reason, I will be using a standard measurement of 3 inches by 3 inches for the neckline, 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the depth. So guys, now I have the neckline constructed, as you can see. The measurement I use in constructing the back neckline is 3 inches for the width and 1 inch for the depth. This is because this pattern is for the back panel, but for the front panel is going to be 3 inches by 3 inches. So the 3 inches by 3 inches I mentioned earlier is for the front panel, not for the back panel. Back panel is 3 inches by 1 inch. So after constructing the neckline, then I will construct the armhole. This is just like drafting your basic bodice block. Okay, so I'll proceed in drafting the back armhole. So guys, now I have the armhole drafted, as you can see. So after constructing the armhole, the next step is to come back to the neckline and confirm the measurement I have on the back neckline. After drafting the front panel, I will do the same, and I will have the two measurements together, then compare it with the neck circumference measurement of the wearer. This is because of the style we are working with. It is together with a neckband, and the measurement I will be having for the neck, it has to be the same as the neck circumference of the wearer, so that the neckband will stay firm on the neck area. It will not be too loose or too tight. So I will be taking the neck measurement all around like this, and I will note it on my pattern. So for the back, I have 3.375. So that is the measurement I have for the back neckline. So I will be doing the calculation later after drafting the front panel. Now the next step is to plot the dart, and because this is the back panel, I need just a basic dart on the back. There is no much to do for the dart. So in doing this, this is just the way you draft your normal basic dart. When drafting your basic bodice block, the normal way you plot your dart, that is the dart I'm applying on the back panel. The bust span measurement I'm working with is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 gives me 3.75. So which is here. Then I will measure my dart intake of 1 inch. That is just a standard for a basic dart, and I will get the midpoint. Then I'll come to the chest level and insert half of the bust span measurement, 3.75, and I will connect the two together. From the chest level, I'm taking this downward by 1 inch, and I will connect to the both sides of the dart leg. So after plotting the dart, the next step is to extend the dart to the mid neckline. This is because we are making an 8 pieces dress. This is going to be in pieces, so I will have to extend the dart to the mid neck based on the style we are working with. I'm extending this to the neckline because of the style we are working with, as I said earlier. So I will get the midpoint of my neckline. So that is 3.375 divided by 2. So now I've gotten the midpoint of the neckline, which is here. Then I will connect this point directly to the chest level. So that is the 1 inch point. The 1 inch point I measure downward on the chest level. And I'm doing this with a straight ruler. So guys, now I have my dart extended upward to the mid neckline. So the next step is to insert the horizontal measurement in order to connect the sides together. So I have the chest level inserted. I will not insert any measurement on the bust anymore. I will insert the quarter of the empire circumference measurement. Okay, then I will add ease of 0.25, then also add my dart intake. So the dart intake I have on this point is 1/2 inch. I will return it back to the side. On the waist level as well, I will insert quarter of the, that is waist circumference divided by 4. I will insert the measurement, and I will add ease of 1/2 inch. Okay, then the dart intake I have here is 1 inch. I will return it back to the side. I'm adding 1/2 inch as ease because of the style we are working with, our reference image. Okay, and the material used in that picture is 100% cotton. So because of the 100% cotton, I will need to add up to 1/2 inch, which will allow the dress to be able to go down freely. So guys, now I have the circumference measurement inserted, which helps me to connect the side. Okay, as I said earlier, I inserted quarter of the empire circumference. That is the measurement taken all around the under the bust area. Okay, as for me here, I'm working with 34 inches. 34 divided by 4 gives me 8.5 inches, and I added 0.25 as his, which makes it 8.75 in total, which is here. Then I added the dart intake I have on the empire level, which is half of an inch. I return it back to the side. Then for the waist level, I use 36 inches. 36 divided by 4 gives me 9 inches. 9 inches plus the dart intake of 1 inch, that is 10. Then I added half of an inch as his, that makes it 10.5 inches in total. So all the measurements I'm using in this video is just for the sake of this tutorial. When making yours, you will have to work with the measurement taken on your client or the person that is putting on the dress. In order to avoid the zipper bulge at the back of your dress, you will need to shape the zipper area and also work on the length of the bodies. So the 17 inches I used as the waist level is the front waist level measurement I measured on my client. Then for the back level, I will need to subtract 1 inch from that, so which means for the back I will use 16 inches. The difference between the front waist level and the back waist level is usually between 1 inch and 1.5 inches, but the most accurate is for you to take the measurements. So on the waist level, from the center back line, I will measure 1 inch upward, like so. Then with a straight ruler, I will connect the 1 inch point to the waist point I have by the side, and I will extend this to the zipper allowance point. Okay, so which means the waistline I drew out earlier is no more the back waistline. So that is why I'm crossing it out. The new line I just drew now is the back waistline. So the back waistline is not going to be on a perfect straight line. You can see the line is slanting. So after doing that, on the waist level, I will insert half of an inch. This measurement has to be taken inward, not outward. From the zipper allowance, which is the edges of my pattern paper, I will measure half of an inch inward, like so. Then I will take my curve ruler, then connect this . You can see what I have. I will connect this to the chest level area. This is the chest level. I will connect it to the chest level area like so from the waistline, and the curvy part of my ruler is facing towards the side seam, not like this but like this. So the shape I'm trying to achieve is that curvy shape we have at the center back. The center back is not on a straight line like the center back line I drew out. You can see this is a straight line. The back is not on a straight line. So if you don't do this, that is why you normally have a bulge at the back of your dress. So this is just to achieve that curvy shape we have at the center back. Okay, you can see the positioning of my ruler, but in order to make this easier for you, let me give you this clue. You can extend your chest level to the zipper allowance point, like so. On the waist, I measured half of an inch inward, so here I will measure quarter of an inch, that is 0.25. Okay, so which means my connection is going to be from this half of an inch on the waist to the quarter of an inch on the chest level. So just the way I have it. And as you can see, the part of the ruler I use is towards the lower part, not the upper part, in order to achieve that curvy shape. Then connection from the chest level to the neckline point is going to be with a straight ruler. So I will position my straight ruler in such a way it connects properly with the curved lines I drew earlier. This may not be exactly from the chest level, it can be below the chest level, but just make sure the connection is smooth. It must not be obvious you connected two lines together separately. So now you can see what I have. When I'm ready to cut now, I'm going to cut following the lines I drew out. So guys, the upper part of the back panel is ready and I can proceed in cutting it out. So guys, now I have the back panel cut out as a single piece, as you can see. So the next step now is to slash this, cut out the darts in order to have this in pieces, because we are making an 8 pieces dress which has no joining on the waistline. So the upper part has to be in 8 pieces and the lower part will be in 8 pieces as well. So for this reason, the dart I extended to the mid neckline, I will be cutting on the line like so. So guys, now I have this cut out. As you can see, I've slashed the pattern into 2 places. So by the time I cut this out on fabrics, this is going to be in 2 pieces and this is going to be in 2 pieces. So which means we are having 4 pieces for the back and 4 pieces for the front, which makes it 8 pieces in total. So that is why we call it 8 panel dress. So there's no need of applying any cutting on the pattern anymore. If you know you will get confused, all you need to do is just to label your pattern appropriately. So just place a mark here, or you just write it out as the darts. So this is the part I cut out the darts. And don't forget that on this pattern I don't have seam allowance added yet. There is no seam allowance added at all on this pattern. So when it is time to add the seam allowance, I will let you know.